What's up? So, I just saw a fight between Ray J and can't remember the guy's name. I think his name is Super Hot something. He went viral for being the subject of a meme. You know, his picture went viral from a meme, maybe in the early 2000s. I don't know. The main point is Ray J fought this guy. And it just had me thinking about how celebrity, the concept of being a celebrity, has pretty much lost its power. Ray J back in the, I want to say the early 90s, not early 90s, maybe late 90s and early 2000s, he was a cool dude, man. He was a fly dude. I remember the first time I saw Ray J. And the first song I heard from him was Wait a Minute. And I remember hearing that song and just seeing the music video and just thinking, man, Ray J's a fly dude. I thought Ray J was real cool. I was really young back then. So when you're really young, you're looking up to older guys and stuff, and you're drawing inspiration from these guys. So I was like, man, Ray J's a cool dude. And it was like that with a lot of guys and stuff. But over the years, with the emergence of social media and reality TV, I feel like these things have completely killed the mystique of celebrities. You know, back in the day, your average Joe, your average cat, your average woman couldn't just interact with celebrities. And there was always a mystery there, you know, and I think people have forgotten that there's power in mystery. There is, man, you know, I'm a stand-up, I don't always feel like sitting down, but there's power in mystery. Privacy is power. And I think with the emergence of social media and, like I said, reality TV, I feel like reality TV was like the initial bullet. It wounded society. And social media was the kill shot. That's what I think. Reality TV wounded society, and social media was the kill shot. Just took it out completely. It just killed society. You know, Ray J now is a complete clown, a laughingstock, and he's not the only one. This is happening to so many people. It has happened to so many people, not just celebrities from back in the day, but new age influencers. You know, new age influencers like Ashton Hall, Larry Wheels, Akash Singh. There's this thing people are saying like aura, you know, aura loss. You know, the kids are saying that nowadays. A lot of people are saying that nowadays. You know, this person's lost aura. They're flopping and stuff, and it's so easy in a world where everything is built on aura and reputation. It's super easy. You got to protect that, because when you have cameras rolling 24/7, that's why I don't get the streaming stuff. It's one thing to, you know, post videos online and, you know, as they say, post and ghost, you know, post and bounce. But when you have a live stream, you're just recording every little moment of your life, man, it's hard to filter yourself for that long. You're going to slip up. Someone's going to catch you slipping. And when people see a camera rolling, knowing that you're building a platform or you have a particular reputation, oh yeah, they're going to be thirsty. They're going to be thirsty to make an example out of you, to make a name off of you, to humiliate you, embarrass you. It's like you got to protect your aura, as they say. You got to. And like, man, celebrity, the whole mystique is gone. There's no such thing as like an A-list celebrity anymore if you really think about it. Back in the day, you had the Leonardo DiCaprios, the Denzel Washingtons, man, even Will Smith. God, I mean, we all know Will Smith. And Will Smith has taken an epic aura loss, an aura flop, fail. Will, man, you seeing it, man. And it's because everything is constantly online. People are constantly being stimulated. And, you know, it makes me think about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is by far one of the most famous individuals to ever walk the planet. By far. And we saw, and it makes me think about this. It's like a double-edged sword, all of this social media and influencer stuff. Because on one end, I like it because it's taking power away from the old school media outlets. All those news stations that would just totally bury celebrities and ridicule them and make fun of them. A lot of that power has been lost. A lot of that power has been taken away from them. And Michael Jackson is probably the most prominent example of how the media can totally thrash and brutalize and just, man, totally torture a celebrity. Because that's what they did to Mike. They tortured him. Constant ridicule, constant. Those tabloids. So I'm glad. This is the good thing about social media. It's taken away the power from these corrupt media, these high, what do you call it, mainstream media and stuff like that. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword, because now you have so many people just acting a fool. Anybody can get famous, and anybody, and just so many randoms have access to random influencers blowing up and access to old school A-list celebrities, because while some of them have maintained their mystique, they do it the smart way. Like Lenny Kravitz is one that comes to mind. You don't see Lenny Kravitz out there like that. A lot of them also make the mistake of giving too many people access to them. Going on podcasts, doing interviews. I wouldn't just be around granting interviews on stream with random people. Pretty much, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a big YouTuber or anything. What you see now from me is pretty much what my entire YouTube career or experience or journey is going to look like. Me in front of this camera only. All the podcasts, interviews, damn sure not live streaming. That's crazy. Around so many people, you got to watch everybody 24/7 because there's always somebody looking for that moment. All right, we got him. We caught him slipping. We caught him slipping. You can build an empire, an entire empire, and it can all come crashing down in one moment, just with one moment. We've seen it with pro athletes. Tyron Woodley, let's take Tyron Woodley, a magnificent UFC fighter, former champion. This guy boxes Jake Paul, gets flatlined, or a loss. All that stuff was erased, all greats of all time. Now, really, it's still in the history books, but one of the main things, probably the main thing people are going to remember when it comes to Tyron Woodley, is him getting flatlined by Jake Paul. People got to be careful, man. You can do something, you can be magnificent, and then you get caught on live stream, taking a huge, as they say, L, and bam, that's what you're known for. Larry Wills, he's a very recent example. Big Larry Wills, strong guy. There was mystique about him, even though, we all know there are people much smaller than him that can beat him in grappling or fighting. But it wasn't until he accepted the challenge, or that he challenged them and took that flop, it was solidified. That's what he's known for. It's caught on camera, boom. All the things he built, gone. And plus, in addition to his ex-wife humiliating him constantly on live stream, all of that stuff is there, and that's what people remember. People will always remember those moments, those humiliations. And when you're a big name, you got to protect it. You got to protect the rep. There's a time when, they say you can't care what people think, and that's true. To an extent, you can't be so concerned with people, what people think, but at the same time, you kind of have to. It just all depends on the situation. It depends on the stakes, how much you have to lose if something happens or if something goes wrong. You got to be conscious of your surroundings and how you're coming across to an extent, because some L's, they're hard to recover from. Yeah, we all make the mistakes in obviously this life. You gotta, take some risks, but man, take calculated risks, because in a world where everything sticks. In a world where everything sticks, and particularly all of your flops, your fails, your humiliations, man, what are you gonna do? And everything. And then here's the thing. People could just keep reliving the stuff over and over and over. See, it wasn't like back in the day. You remember like back in the day, all this social media stuff didn't exist. So say, for instance, how your Toonami exists, right? Dragon Ball Z, you watch all the great anime from back in the day, like late night, 90s animes, 80s animes that used to come on Toonami. Dragon Ball Z was a big one. Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin. And it's like you try to rush home to make it, because, man, if you missed it, you missed it, You probably try to catch a rerun late at night or something. But man, if you missed it, you missed it. That's how it was. Or if there was like a live concert being televised, like everybody try to get home, hey, turn this on. Everybody calling each other, turn this on. Now it's not like that. People can keep reliving the moment. Oh, just share it, save it, download it. Like, man, regular TV is nearly obsolete. It's nearly obsolete because you could just keep reliving the moments over and over and over. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's a bad thing because, man, all of your embarrassing moments can be relived over and over and over. So it sucks, man. Absolutely. I remember when Zab Judah, anybody remember Zab Judah, the boxer? Remember when Zab Judah took that KO loss to Costa Tszyu? That was a big moment. You know, it took a while for him to live that down a little bit, but now no one really care about that and stuff. Imagine if back in the day social media exists. Man, people would still be bringing that up to Zab to this day, bro. See, Zab was lucky he lived in the era to where, you know, stuff like that didn't get played over and over and over on the internet, on social media, everywhere, constantly. You know? To where people can also send you messages, and that's another thing. It goes back to the mystique. The mystique of the celebrity is gone. Now people can just find the social medias of all of these celebrities and just interact with them, shoot messages. It's crazy. Like back in the day, I couldn't imagine talking to, I don't know, who's a random celebrity. I don't know, Will Smith online or some singer that I was a fan of or an athlete. Imagine talking to LeBron James, going back and forth. I mean, people can do this. There are pretty famous people that go back and forth, chat it up, troll, insult them. Like celebrities, when's the last time most people ever talked to a celebrity? Like now, so many people have access to these people, these celebrities, these influencers, even though it's weird to call these influencers celebrities. I don't want to go that far. I don't, it's ridiculous. They're not A-list celebrities, but they're known enough. I feel like that's just a problem, man. There's too much access to everybody these days. Way too much access. And like something has to be off limits. Especially in a world where it's all about who can catch who slipping and this and that. Something has to be off limits. Maintain your mystique. Mystery is power. There's power in mystery. I remember, man, this is a few years ago. I actually had a conversation on Instagram with the famous boxer. We were going back and forth about, what's more efficient in a street fight, MMA versus boxing, without the reality of weapons being involved. Let's just say you take weapons out of the equation, who has the upper hand or the edge usually. So I was going back and forth, and it ended all right. But now I thought to myself, like, man, I just had a whole conversation with this very, popular, famous boxer. Back in the day, that'll never happen. People just didn't have access to these pro athletes, these famous people and stuff like now. I was just tripped out, man. Very tripped out. So it makes me, I just thought about, again, I talked about Larry Wheels, and man, if you don't learn your lessons earlier on, like you got guys like Will Smith, Larry Wheels, who have pretty much been successful their whole lives, so they never really took major L's or really learned serious lessons. You probably should learn living a normal life before you get famous, because if you learn these hard, brutal lessons in front of millions for the world to see, oh man, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. And like the world is thirstier than ever to catch people slipping, to laugh at people, all of that. You gotta maintain the mystique. Maintain it. So that's all I want to say. Until then, later.